Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to Lone Oak. It's day 2 of winter. We're really at the business end of closing down our farm now. And you may remember from last night that we have a great demand for barley. So we're going to be selling all of our barley today. Now the price was 700 something, sort of low to mid 700s yesterday. It did get the expected bump up this morning. Now, the overall predicted price tomorrow is going to be higher, but not by much. But crucially, we have a great demand, so we can sell everything at this fixed price rather than having to sell a bit at one sell point, go to the other sell point hoping that that's competitive, sell a bit there, and then wait and wait and wait, and then sell the rest in a mad rush, along with all of our other crops that we have to sell tomorrow, our wheat and our canola. In fact, actually, our canola might possibly be good to sell today. We'll check that out in a minute. Our sunflowers, we're going to be... Ooh, sunflowers is terrible. We might have to come back at the end of winter to sell our sunflowers. We're going to be here on day 4 anyway, because we've got to do our our silage sell-off. So we might sell day 5, or we might just skip to day 6. For the sunflowers. We'll see how that goes. No soybeans this year, so we don't have to worry about soybeans. Price is terrible till the summer anyway. We do have corn though. Tomorrow is a day for corn, and we have sugar beets as well. Price isn't too bad actually compared to the predictions. Ignore the price prediction shown for day 4. That's because we had a great demand, so it's an unrepresentative price. But we have a lot of stuff, basically, and it's all mainly going to be sold off tomorrow. Our wheat, our canola, and our corn, all getting sold tomorrow, maybe our sugar beets as well. So tomorrow's going to be a very, very busy selling day. So we can ship all of our barley today at a great demand. Why would we not do that? We have 211,000 and change in terms of litres to sell. So we're going to run it truck by truck. You can see the other truck is there, parked up. That truck is loaded with 70,000 litres of silage ready to go over to the BGA. That's due to be openable this afternoon. We can open up the pit later on today, and then we can start to add our silage from here. Now I've got 500,000 litres of silage inside the silo here at the farm. And I've still got all of that there in that bunker, which is a fair old bit, and another 70,000 litres in that trailer. So we have a lot of silage to sell. It's going to take us all afternoon to get it all transported over there and up in position. So that's a lot of work still to be done there, that's for sure. So let's make our way over to... Is it Agri-XJS we're going to? Yes, Agri-XJS. Make our way over there to start selling off our barley. This is why we're starting nice and early today, because we do have, as I say, a very, very busy afternoon of moving silage over to the BGA. So I want to get this done out of the way while we have some opportunity to do that. And then once we've done that and sold all of the barley, I can then load this trailer up with some silage as well, and we can shift all of that over to the BGA and get all of that sold. So... yeah, this is going to give us a nice little extra chunk of cash. You can see we're sitting on just over $1 million. That's mainly from selling off all of our animals. We raised around $800,000 selling off our cows and our sheep. Not pigs, because we've never had any pigs on this farm. So I don't know why I was thinking pigs, but... yeah, for our sheep and our cows, we raised in total around about $800,000, which is pretty good. And we actually made profits on most of the animals as well. So a real bargain in some cases. Our cows in particular, every single cow went through, well, almost every single cow went through at profit. Where we actually got a higher sale price than we paid for them, which is very impressive when you consider that the sale price is always so much lower than the predicted price for purchasing. Sometimes up to half the purchase price. So yeah, we did really, really well out of that, and that combined with some of the money we already had meant we hit the million nice and early, and we still have all of our crops to sell, so that is really going to help us quite dramatically in seeing if we can hit 2 million. I think we've got a good chance, especially with all that silage still to go as well. We might even hit 3 million. That would be something. If we can hit 3 million after 3 years in terms of pure profit, I think that would be a great way to finish off. 1 million profit for every year that we've worked on the farm. That would be fantastic. Almost here at AgriXJS. See, yeah, that orange light there shows that we have our beacons on. We are quite a long transport trailer. You can actually see the beacon flashing through the back of the trailer there. Oops, I just missed my turning. Oops, that was clumsy. Too busy admiring the beacon that can shine through a solid trailer. There we go, onto the weighbridge. Clock the readout. You may have noticed that I'm trying to do a lot more sort of in-cab driving here as we're closing the farm down, just because we haven't had the opportunity to do that much of it up to this point, really. So it's a nice change of pace, I think, doing some first-person driving. I hope to try and do a bit more of that in FS19. I'm also really curious to see as well if driving in first person we'll actually see our viewpoint bouncing up and down a little bit with the in-cab air suspension for the seats. That'll be kind of a cool effect to see if that actually happens, although it might potentially get a bit frustrating after a while. It depends how severe it is, if it indeed actually is going to exist. So how much did we make off that first trailer? $56,500. That's not bad. That's not bad at all for 70,000 litres. We still have 2 and a bit trailers left to go. We're going to have 2 full trailers and then about 1,000, less than 2,000 litres left, I think, afterwards to sell off. We do need to sell everything, so that final run's going to be a little bit pitiful with a 70,000 litre trailer and less than 2,000 litres in it, but you know, it is what it is. So I'll start heading back. We'll grab the next trailer and I'll see you in just a few moments. And there goes trailer number 2. That's another $56,500. So we're up to 113 and change so far. That's pretty good. We've still got another full trailer to go, and then that little tiny little bit left over on top of that as well. So we're looking at another 58,000 or so in total, maybe not even 58, maybe for sort of 57 and a half or so. We're not going to get much for the 1,100 litres or so. We could probably get less than $1,000 for that. So yeah, we're looking at another, say, 57,000, maybe 58 at a push if we're really lucky, which is going to give us a total of around about 170,000 for our barley. That's not bad. That's not a bad way to start the day. The other reason we're getting started today, before the sun's up, it should be coming up pretty soon, is because this demand is due to finish at about 11 AM, maybe earlier. And we got caught out with the great demand for sugar beets ending 3 hours earlier than it was supposed to, and I don't want that to happen again today. So That's why we're starting way earlier than we actually need to be done by, just so that if we do get a repeat of that little kind of weird bug, it's not going to affect us, and we'll have all of our crops sold in advance of the cut-off time. Although, having said that, the cut-off time, if it does the 3-hour thing, is going to be in about 10 minutes, so we would still potentially miss out, but hopefully we'll be alright. There we go, that's 70,000 litres, and at the same time, indicators, there we go, close the cover. At the same time, we've hit 8 o'clock, and the demand is still there. Okay, so that's good, that's reassuring. At least we know that we'll get the same price for this barley. Of course, if it had changed, then we could have just waited and sold the rest tomorrow, but it's all going through at the same price, which is good. Very, very good indeed. And interestingly enough, I've got slightly more than I thought. 1,711 litres remaining, so that will be about $1,300, maybe more. So yeah, we're looking at maybe a total of around about 170 across all 3 loads. I'm quite chuffed with that. Okay, a weird little bug I've noticed is that now that we're past 8 o'clock in the morning, look, it's still dark, but the opposing traffic has just decided to switch its lights off, and as a result I nearly crashed into a van pulling out onto the main road because I didn't see any headlights, and started to pull out and it's like, oh, it's a dark blue van coming straight my way. That was nearly bad. Sun isn't up yet, should be up in the next sort of 10 minutes or so though, I would have thought. I think dawn was predicted for around about 8:20 this morning, so should be up very, very soon. It has started to brighten up a little bit, but yeah, nearly had an accident there because you know, the locals have decided to just turn their lights off. Very, very brave of them. When there's a big semi on the road with a lot of weight behind it. Just crumple those pickups like they weren't even there. There we go. So, final load going up. Well, final full load. Still have that 1,711 litres to go. And I'm just looking to see if I can see signs of the sun. Not there yet. But I'm guessing it'll be up by the time we get back to the farm, or at least coming up. And there we go, another 56,676. Very nice to see. So how much is this last piddly little bit going to be worth? Not much. Blink and you miss it, it's gone. $1,386. That's not too far off. That's just slightly more than I thought, actually. I thought we'd get maybe 1,300 if we were lucky. We got nearly 14. So, let's see how much we made as a total sale of our barley. I was hoping for around about 170,000. Let's have a look. Sold... harvest income, there we go, $171,415. So very, very nice way to start the day. A little bit more than I was expecting, and you can see there, look, there's the milk from yesterday, and exactly as I thought. You know, that little bit of milk from the first part of the day raised more than an entire day's worth of milk, you know, before winter. Don't forget, that is the partial from day 1 of winter, as opposed to a full day, or you know, the day 2 of winter milk sale. There will be no more milk after after midnight today, because it's all gone now. We've sold the last we had. We have no cows left to make any more for us, so we have no more milk income to come. And that's not too bad though. 15 grand for just a few hours, really, from midnight through till sort of mid-morning. That's not too bad. 15 grand. We could have been looking at around 30 for a full day, maybe even pushing towards 40. It would have been somewhere between there, 30 to 40. I think we made about 30-ish, low 30s last year in winter, and we had more cows this year. but obviously we didn't have them long enough to really get the benefit of those winter milk prices. Still, not a lot for us to do now for the next couple of hours. We've got to wait for the BGA to finish processing and fermenting, and then we can unwrap the silage that we have there, and then start transferring silage from our farm over to the BGA, ready for a sell-off in a couple of days' time. So I think I'll go in, put my feet up in front of the telly, have a cuppa, and crack on again from around about 11:30 onwards, and start shipping our silage up towards the BGA, ready for when it derobes itself sometime around midday, I think. I realised as soon as I got back to the farmhouse that I still have things that I could sell off while I'm waiting for my silage bunker to open up. So I've already loaded up the other trailer with another 70,000 litres out of the bunker at the farm. So that's 140,000 litres prepped in trailers ready to be shipped over, plus the 500,000 litres in the silo, and still quite a lot in there. But there's all the bales that are left over that we need to get rid of. So we have all the hay bales that are still here, plus we need to think about getting rid of the bobcat. We're not going to need that anymore. Just going to sit here and collect some dust. But we still have, as you can see, 16 bales of hay that need to be sold off. So we're going to sell those. We're going to load those up onto the back of our pickup, take those over to the barn, and then back at the main farm, we also have a load of hay bales. I'm not sure how many exactly, but quite a lot. We have all of those, and we also have. I'll do this in threes. I think it might be a bit easier. Oops. Let's get some lights on as well so I can see what I'm doing. There we go. We also have all the straw bales that are left over as well. So a fair number of bales. When we move the ones from the farm, because there are a lot more of them, those we will almost certainly sell on the large bale trailer, which we use, the BSM one, which we would use for our trucks. So we'll load all the bales onto those. Can I get away with all these bales on here? I was hoping to stack these in a way that would be quite easy to do, but I think can I even reach far back enough? That's about as far as I can push them. I have to nudge them back with the other bales and hope that I don't overdo it. Maybe we should have done these in stacks of 4 and just risked the wobble. We'll do that on the next set. So let's see. Yeah, let's take one off the bottom here, stack it on the top of the other ones. I'm thinking telescopic bale spikes might have been a good idea as well. I don't know if I'm going to have the height reach now, factoring in the trailer, to actually get this on top of the other stack of 3. This could be tricky. This could be a recipe for disaster. I think I've just about got enough height. Oh, I have. It's going to be close though. Ooh, really close. Yeah, that is just about on. So let's try moving a stack of 4 with this one here. Yeah, we'll use the BSM trailer to move the other bales, because there's going to be a lot of them, and I think we're still going to have to make 2 runs, even though I can load up to like 48 bales. It's still an awful lot that we need to move, and I think it might possibly take 2 trips, one for the hay, and then one for any leftover hay, and then the straw, or maybe just the straw. It depends how much hay we have left. We have a fair bit left. I'm just not sure exactly how much. A little wobbly with 4 on here. This is nerve-wracking. One turn too tight and they will all just go spinning off the side. I'm going to have to reposition the stack slightly as well. Oh, don't nudge the trailer. Ah, there we go. We've lost. Oh dear, made a bit of a mess of that, and that top one's got wedged on my forks. Oh dear. How am I going to get this one off? I'm trying to get it to slide off the top by slamming the brakes on, and I think it's caught on something. It just doesn't want to come off the top, look. It's like it's catching on something. There we go. It was kind of weirdly caught on something. Okay, this is going to be messy. This is going to be very messy. Not my neatest bale stacking of all time. That's for certain. But we can tidy this up. Push that forward a little bit. Actually, if I'm going to push, it'd be better to do this with folded spikes, I think. There we go. That way I can potentially push all three evenly. Whoa, that's iffy, but it worked. We got it down. I just need to squeeze this onto the top now. This might be even trickier because I think I'm at a lower height compared to the trailer. Oh, this is going to be tough. Right. Could possibly have spiked that a little bit lower down to give me that extra couple of inches in height. We'll just have to make do like this. No, I'm going to have to there we go. There we go. We did it. We got them all on. So, let's get those strapped down before they fall off. And I'm going to do that all over again. I will get them loaded up and then I'll see you as we're hopefully on our way to the sell point. Well, it took a bit more effort than I would have liked. Quite a bit more effort in the end. But we have got all 16 bales loaded onto the back of the trailer, and it's actually remarkably stable in the corners, which is very nice. I was worried that you know, just taking these bends just a fraction too fast would immediately roll this thing over, but it's actually pretty well planted, which is good. You know, normally I'm used to driving with stacks 3 high because of my auto load spikes that I've been using throughout the series, but using stacks of 4 has kept the trailer very stable indeed. This is because of the gooseneck. It hasn't wanted to kind of step out or roll over, and it certainly hasn't felt like it's pulling at the vehicle. I think because of the way it's connected, rather than a standard trailer, it has got that gooseneck connection. And there we go, some pretty good prices, $557 per bale. So there we go, job done. That's the hay bales from the main farm, sorry, from the sheep farm sold. And we'll go back now, we'll get the Bobcat loaded up and its tools, take that over and see what we can get for that. Right, so I've just agreed a price for all of my bits of equipment. You can see the credit notes popping through there. We've made just under $98,000 for selling off the pickup with the fifth wheel attachment and the dually trailer, you know, the gooseneck trailer, and the water trailer, and the bobcat and the bobcat attachments. All of that has been sold, and we have brought in $97,199. Not bad, not bad. I had one of the lads bring very carefully, and I'm about to inspect it for scratches and dings. Had one of the lads bring the car up for me, so that I had a way to actually get back to the farm. So there we go, job done. We have closed down our sheep farm completely, removed all of our equipment, and sold off, you know, our pickup as well, because we don't need it anymore. Now that we've transported the last of those bales, that's all we need. Actually, while I'm here, let me just very quickly and cheekily turn around in someone's driveway here. There we go. Let's just quickly check on the progress of the bunker. See if it's done fermenting the silage just yet. Might be a little bit longer yet. There it is. There's that lovely ramp that we built. So let's see, is this ready? 95%. So not far off. We can go back, we can get in the first truck, and by the time we get back here, that should, in theory, be ready to open up. So let's head back to the farm and grab that first truck. Well, this is taking longer than I thought. Oh, hello. We have a great demand for sugar beets. Fantastic. I was just about to say, this is taking a lot longer than I thought to ferment. I've been sat here for an hour and a half now waiting for this to do those last few percent. We're up to 99%. And I've got a sugar beet great demand. And we may as well take advantage of that and sell our sugar beets this afternoon. We do still have a couple of 100,000 in storage, if you remember. 239,000, in fact. The price is 293. That's not too bad. And again, more importantly, it's fixed. So we can ship all 293,000 or 239,293. That'd be nice. 239,000 litres at that price, rather than doing it piecemeal and then going down and going down. Problem is, both of my trucks are full of silage, so I can't do anything until this finishes fermenting. Then I can dump this load of silage here, and then we can go back to the farm and start, back to our storage at Hollister Potato and start transferring silage over, or transferring the beets over. I was going to try and do a weird conveyor belt setup. I might still do that, actually. I do still have a couple of conveyor belts at the farm. Yeah, let's see if we can do that. But still, just in case it doesn't work, I want to have a truck free, just in case. In case I don't have enough reach or there's some kind of problem. So, yeah, we'll sit here a little bit longer, wait for this to finish fermenting. Open it up, tip this first trailer onto on silage just here. This is why I want the ramp, because I'm going to drive into the pit this way and then back up, reverse up the ramp and tip here at the entrance way. So I've got a nice big pile here. That's kind of the plan. I don't know how well it's going to work. Well, guess we'll find out in a little while. But yeah, I need to wait for this to tick over now. So I will see you in a moment, hopefully. Well, there we go. We didn't have to wait too long. Silage is now done. So let's open up the bunker. There we go. Oh, this might be tricky. Let me just detach from that for a moment. I don't know if this will work. Will this open up? No. I don't know if I can actually get this to trigger the rest of the bunker. And I can open it from this end as well, I believe. Yep. So, will driving up here actually open up the rest of the ramp? No, it won't. Okay, I'm going to need a tool of some kind. I'll tell you what, it's not necessarily too bad because I wanted to keep the integrity of the ramp for as long as I could so that I could actually tip at the front. So this might still work out okay. Yeah. If I don't sound convinced by this, it's because I'm not. I'm really not convinced that this is going to work. But it's worth a try. You know, it's a different way to approach silage. I always tend to approach it the same way, which is build a huge mound of silage, go in with conveyor belts, and that's it, job done. It takes a while, but it gets everything shipped at a very strong price all the way through. This is a very different way of actually getting that silage up to the front of the bunker. I don't know if it's going to work. So I guess we'll find out. I'm going to get as close to the wall as I can. There we go. And I want to tip about there, I think. That's actually working out quite well. It's dumping the silage at the front where we want it. It's not going to work all the way through. We've got so much to bring up here that we're just not going to be able to get it all loaded up that way. But if we can at least make a headway on it, that'll make things a bit easier. Just climb off the wrap. There we go. Okay, so not sure if it's going to work or not. I need to get a wriggle on because the great demand is only 6 hours and we've wasted the first half an hour already waiting for that silage to open up so that we could get a truck. Not ideal, but it is what we kind of needed to do. So we need to kind of be a bit naughty and speed on the way back because it's going to take a while with a conveyor belt. In fact, I might just ditch the belt and just go with a trailer altogether. I don't know if it's going to be, if I can connect the belt actually to the back of my trailer. The trailer does have a tow hook, so in theory I might be able to, but it might be an incompatible hook type. We might need a sort of a Euro hitch, which we don't actually have on this. It's just a tow bar, so yeah, it might not work. I might have to whiz the conveyor down on the back of a tractor. We'll see, because I don't think I'm able to hook up those long conveyor belts, the exit belts, to my truck, my pickup truck, which I no longer have anyway. But that has a standard tow bar hitch, so if it won't fit to that, then I don't think it will fit to the back of this trailer. We'll try it. We'll see what happens, but I am very unoptimistic. I'm very pessimistic about the chances of this actually working. In which case we will be running with a tractor to get it down there as quick as we can, get it set up, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, well, we have a truck on standby. So let's have a look at that tow bar. Yeah, they're not going to work. It's not going to attach. They both have the same connector type, so I'm going to need a tractor. Let's see, what should we take? We'll take the Magnum. We'll take our beast. Over 70 hours on the Magnum now, which is awesome. I was going to say it's been absolutely faultless, it's worked perfectly all the way through, but of course it hasn't. It had the breakdown, which overwhelmingly seems to be your favourite moment on the farm, was when my Magnum went kaput and I had to send it off to be repaired and bring in a quad track just to be able to plant my crops. Cost me a fortune, $80,000 in leasing. But that seems to be your favourite moment of the entire farm, so it's a good choice, I suppose. It was quite a good little moment. I'm very proud of the way that that little scenario turned out. Another very popular moment was the construction of the shed for the orchard and the construction of the orchard itself. You know, bringing in the slow haul extendable in pieces with the construction crew proved to be very, very popular as well. So I'm glad you guys enjoyed that. It was an idea that I'd had knocking around in my head long before we ever got to that point. You know, I think by the time we're in summer of year one, you know, halfway through summer, I'd already got that moment planned, and so I was thinking a long way ahead for that particular scene. And the Magnum breakdown, that was always planned to happen at that point as well. You know, so some of the ideas came to me and were implemented reasonably quickly, but some of the ideas have been knocking around in my head for a while as well. Demo Day was another popular favourite of yours as well, where Case turned up with a demonstration model combine, which we ended up buying after the demonstration. That again was also very popular and also very prototypical of the way you know things are run on farms, where a demonstration combine is taken over to a farm to be used for a few days, to be tried out, and then, you know, to try and negotiate a sale out of the demonstration at the end. So I again was very, very pleased with the way that turned out, and that was something I had planned from day one. I was always going to do that right from before I'd even started the series. That one was planned. So yeah, some of those ideas were a long time in the making before they actually happened. Others not quite so much. They're a bit more sort of on the cuff, or off the cuff. But yeah, very, very pleased with the way those turned out, and you guys seem to appreciate those as well. So I'm glad you enjoyed them as much as I enjoyed making those angles. It was a lot of fun. And I'm looking forward to trying out things like that in Farming Sim 19 as well. New possibilities will be opened up with the way that the new game is going to work. So let's see if I can get lined up. Get the belt fully extended. Hopefully this is going to reach. Should do. Oops, let's lower it down. This will tell me if it is going to reach or not. Oh, it's just going to reach. And I can fill automatically. Here we go. So, let's start the unload process. Why is it only doing that in stages? Is it the position of the trailers? This isn't good, or just not close enough in this? I'm in the sell point. You see, we're selling the beets. Maybe it's the position of the belt itself. Alright, let's try repositioning. Alright, that looks pretty good. Nope. Maybe not. It just doesn't want to go all the way through, does it? That's disappointing. I was hoping that would actually stay. Okay, so it was a nice idea, but it's not going to work, unfortunately. What about if I try unload here? No, again, it's not going to work. So sell off the last of those beets on the belt. It's going to take forever to try and just sit here and constantly keep clicking. We're going to need the truck. And because time is short and we have less than... Actually, I've got to get this out of here anyway. So, yeah, we'll race this back to the farm as quick as we can. We're going to have to go cross-country on our fields, I think, now. just to make sure we get back there in time. Grab the truck and then just tip 70,000 litres at a time. It'll be much, much quicker. We'll get done well before we run out of time. It's just frustrating. I was hoping that I would be able to auto unload all the way through and have a continuous stream. I've been able to do that with wood chips on Mustang Valley. Just a little disappointed it didn't work here. Maybe it's because it's a different type of cell box to a standard sort of painted on the ground one. That must be the only reason I can think of. Never mind. Alright, so we're here with the truck. Make our way in. Let's avoid the weighbridge because there's nothing in here. We're not bringing in trailers that need to be weighed before they're emptied and sold. And we can kind of fill like this and then just back straight up to the sell point. So this should work pretty well. And it's all in this one silo as well, so we can just back up and then pull forward a bit, then back up a bit, pull forward a bit, and before you know it, we're going to be done selling these sugar beets. I do need to change my tip angle, because remember, we do have some problems with the high tip, actually causing problems with the cell box itself. That pallet conveyor belt there, which is the sell point, it has some issues with that. So that's a good way to kind of stop that being an issue, is just to lower the tip angle to the shallow one rather than the full angle. So it tips lower, tips a little bit slower, but it actually tips without any issues. So there we go, we'll get that first one going through. So we made, what, 171,000 off the barley. What are we looking at? So far, it's not, yeah, it is harvest income, isn't it? There we go. It's going up little bit by little bit as the trailer empties. We're not going to get huge amounts for each of these trailers because the price is so low at 200 and... was it 290? What was the sale price? Oh, 289. It's actually dropping. I think it's going down. I think that was 292, 293 when that popped. So it does look as though it's slowly declining already. Great Demands will do that from time to time. And there we go. Only $20,000 for 70,000 litres of sugar beets. It's what it is. But don't forget, this is left over from our big harvest. We harvested... I think we harvested around about 1.5 million litres, and we sold 1.2 earlier in the year, sort of late autumn. We had that great demand and shipped several $100,000 worth of beets. Not the case today. We're going to be getting probably around about $70,000 for our beets. Not a massive amount, but like I say, we're getting it all at a fixed-ish price as opposed to a wildly fluctuating price. And this is the only sell point for beets, so we don't really have anywhere else to go if the price isn't good. It has to come here. But aren't Great Demands, well, great. Yeah, they pop up and they give you a nice fixed price, no fluctuating markets. God, I love Great Demands, especially when you get them at the right time of year. We've had two today. Well, technically one yesterday, which carried into today, and then this one today as well. Kind of gives us two today. We're able to sell, two of our crops at good fixed prices. You can't fault that, really. It's a great way to kind of, close the farm down with really, really strong crop sales. Just kind of wish we had Great Demands for our other one. Well, you never know. You never know what's going to happen tomorrow. We might get Great Demands for wheat and for corn and for canola. Even if we only get one of those three, it's going to be a massive boost for us. Because it's going to be the best day to sell all three of those crops. And we could stand to make a tidy, tidy fortune just on one Great Demand, let alone three. Let's see what the prices are looking like at the moment for those. Wheat isn't looking great. 7.94 at Lone Wolf isn't bad. Canola is looking pretty poor, actually. So tomorrow should be good. In fact, actually, it's encouraging that these prices are showing red now, because it means that hopefully when we come to sell them tomorrow, they'll be green and better, much better. And what was the other one? Corn, wasn't it? Corn price, and again, we've seen better. We got 900, over 900 last year. So we can hope for something a little similar tomorrow, when we come to sell the corn. Okay, how much have we got left in storage? 22,500 litres. So this will be about 60-ish thousand litres plus change. No, sorry, $60-ish thousand, maybe 62, somewhere in that kind of region, and then that little extra bit, yeah, maybe 70 was a bit optimistic, maybe 65 is a bit more likely. There we go, again just over 20,000 for the trailer. So we're looking at, yeah, less than 61,000 plus this last sort of 22,500 litres. So we're looking, I think, around about 65 in total. What's the final amount for this little bit going to be? Ooh, 6,500. That's not too bad, actually. That's not too bad at all. So, total harvest income for the day, $240,000. That's not too bad. So, you take off the 171,500 that we made for selling our beets, and we actually made about $70,000. That's, well, just under. That's not too bad. So, I'm quite happy with that. You know, we didn't have a lot of beets left to sell, and don't forget we will get half our money back on those silos. So we'll get around about 25 grand for the pair, thanks to the deal we worked out with Hollister for allowing us to actually construct them on that property. They would buy them off us at half price. So we paid 25 grand for each of them, and we're going to recoup 25 grand when we leave the farm and go away. I think the sun's actually starting to come out, perhaps. So there's a little bit more blue in the sky. Just cut across field 49 here. And that's pretty much it for all the big stuff that we have to do. So now it's just a case of getting that silage transferred over to the BGA. We won't be selling it today because there's too much to shift before the end of the day. As I say, I've got 500,000 litres in the silo, plus we still have quite a big chunk left in the bunker itself, and that trailer there is ready to go at 70,000 litres. So it's not going to happen, you know, today. It won't happen tomorrow because we have crop sales tomorrow. But it will happen on day 4, which is Sunday. So we'll have a Sunday silage sell-off, and then we may possibly sell our sunflowers on the day after that, and we have the last of the bales to sell off as well. So we're not completely done and dusted, and we still have a little bit of work left to do, but it's going to start bleeding into itself now. In terms of the days, there's not going to be enough for a full day. We are going to have to kind of roll a couple of days together. So we'll have a full episode for selling off the crops and probably selling off the silage, and then a full episode to kind of close everything else off with, you know, the bales and and the sunflowers, and then that'll be it. That'll be the end of Lone Oak. It's been a long series. We've put out over 50 episodes, and I've enjoyed making them. I really have. This has been such a fun farm to work on. But yeah, we are right down to the last couple of episodes after this now. There's 2 episodes to go, maybe 3, depending on how much work is involved. But at least 2 episodes left, maybe a third one. And then Farming Sim 19 is just around the corner. We are 1 week away as I record this. It is Tuesday the 13th. It comes out next Tuesday. So actually, because it's late afternoon, it's around 5 o'clock now here in the evening. So by this time next week, the game will have been out here in the UK for 17 hours. So less than a week for me until I can start playing that. I will be releasing a series of videos on launch day, so we'll have a look at the game itself, how it's running, and we'll take a look at some of the new equipment. We'll also do a comprehensive tour of the 2 new maps, and we'll also try and, if we get time on the first day as well, we'll also try and do side-by-side comparison between Estancia La Pacho and on Farming Sim 17 against Estancia La Pacho on Farming Sim 19. So plenty of content to come out at launch, and then after that we'll look at getting a Let's Play up and running, and I have ideas for 2 separate series. And what I'm thinking is a John Deere farm on Ravensport and the return of Fent Farm on Felsbrunn. And let's face it, I mean, they are really going all out with Fent this year. We're getting some fantastic Fent equipment. You know, the 1000 series, the Tract 900 series, the 1100 series, and of course the monstrous Fent Ideal is going to be available to us as well. So a lot of Fent equipment really does set up a Fent farm as a strong possibility for my first sort of themed Let's Play. And then of course with John Deere we've got 5 tractors, we've got 2 combines, and we have, for those of us that are going to get the DLC pass, the season pass, we will also have the John Deere Gator as well. So plenty of John Deere vehicles to get us up and running on a John Deere playthrough on Ravensport as well. I'm not quite sure whether I'm going to do simultaneous, so kind of do 1 episode of one day and then 1 episode of the next day, or maybe do a couple of days of one, then a couple of days of the other. I'm not quite sure yet. Probably do alternating days. But we'll be putting out a lot of Farming Sim 19 content as soon as the game comes out, and then we'll continue to do so for a good while, I think, until we start getting some mods and we can start looking at maybe relocating to other locations. Who knows? I might save Fent Farm for the first mod maps, and just do a sort of a Let's Play of whatever we want to use on Felsbrunn. I might do that instead. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you want Fent Farm to rush out on Felsbrunn, or do you want me to save Fent Farm for a mod map a little bit further down the road? Let me know in the comments, and I will take your advisements on board. So, I'm going to basically be shuttling silage for the rest of the day now. It's going to be very boring for you to watch, and we're almost out of time anyway. So, that's it from me. Thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and I'll be back with the remaining episodes of Lone Oak Farm very soon.